Coming up on the Sci-Fi Channel.
100 episodes. Can you believe it? Yes, this is Sci-Fi Buzz show number 100. And in television, folks, trust me, that is a milestone. So please stay tuned. Hey, this is our 100th show. Let's do something special here. That's better. Calling all Sci-Fi Buzz fans, we're taking the leap to LeapCon 95. Quantum Leap may have been canceled, but the fans won't let it die. We'll buzz with best-selling fantasy author Robert Jordan. Commentator Harlan Ellison reminds us he has principles. And we'll hang out at the hottest new haunt for daring New Yorkers. Hello, buzzers. I guess I've said that at least 100 times. Our 100th show here on the Sci-Fi Channel. Isn't it great? Thank you for being with us. This is Sci-Fi Buzz. I'm your host, Mike Jarek. And if you thought that there was only Fantasyland in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, you ought to see what's come to New York.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, wait a minute. This is my show. I've done 100 shows. What are you doing? Who are you?
I'm taking over. I'm Max Story, the former bartender here.
Well, I've got a bone to pick with you. It's my show. You must be out of your skull. Stop it.
I was dying out here.
Well, let me tell you about Jekyll and Hyde. It's a wild and wacky place in Midtown Manhattan. You might call it a splendidly spooky restaurant and social club for eccentric explorers and mad scientists, where patrons can eat and drink among the bizarre and unusual. And we decided to come here for the celebration of our 100th show of Sci-Fi Buzz. I think we made the right choice, don't you? Now, it's a special treat for all you Buzz viewers. You've been so loyal. And all you Sci-Fi Channel viewers as well. We're going to take you to a special Quantum Leap gathering. And this is special because only a few hundred people were invited, well, including me. And now you. It's been nearly 2 years since the time travel series Quantum Leap was abruptly canceled by NBC. And though the show may be gone, it's anything but forgotten.
We originally discovered all this fandom when we got on a computer service and discovered the Quantum Leap topics and all this wonderful world of Quantum Leap.
A select group of Quantum Leap fans from around the world leaped to Los Angeles recently for the 4th convention devoted to keeping the memory of the series alive. It appears Star Trek isn't the only worldwide sci-fi phenomenon to emerge from American TV.
When people say that there was a golden age of television, and that's long past, and you don't see any of it, well, a couple years ago, it was Quantum Leap.
It's a kind of series that you can watch over and over, and it never gets old.
Though Quantum Leap suffered an untimely death in the eyes of fans, commonly called leapers, the show seems to be more popular than ever. That's because reruns of the series air daily on this very channel, as well as on outlets all over the planet. The show has become so revered overseas, a contingent from France flew in to lay the groundwork for a con on the continent.
We are planning to do one next year, and we're trying to get Scott to come and other guests, and that would really be terrific if we could have one.
Scott, of course, is Scott Bakula, the amiable actor who portrayed Sam Beckett, a brilliant physicist who leaped into everybody from Elvis Presley to Lee Harvey Oswald.
When you're shooting a series, you don't get to meet anybody, so you're working all the time, so it was always kind of a shock to get out into the world and know that people were watching the show, actually, and not just the Nielsen numbers, so it's great to meet the fans. Fans have always been great.
Hello, everyone.
While those associated with Quantum Leap have moved on to other projects, many remain loyal to the legions of viewers who've been touched by the show.
The cast and the crew and all the people involved have been really gracious with the fans. They sort of make us feel like we're family rather than, looking in from the outside.
When asked what makes the show so special, some credit the
deep emotional impact,
while others say it's
seeing that one person can really make a difference.
But the most unanimous response is more along these lines.
I like both actors a lot. They're really terrific at what they do, and they're awfully cute.
$250 going once, going twice. All right.
So beloved are Scott Bakula and co-star Dean Stockwell that fans shelled out big bucks for signed pictures, posters, and anything else they could get their hands on at the Cannes charity auction.
I bought the towel that Scott wore when he was on Murphy Brown.
Uh-huh. And the winning bid, ma'am?
$3,500.
Yikes! With that kind of ardent devotion, it's no wonder Bakula and others see a leap to the big screen as a definite possibility.
I think events like this will help it go to the big screen. I see no reason for it not to go to the big screen. We could do a tremendous movie. I think the market is there for it, not only in this country but around the world now, and I think they would be foolish not to do it. So, cross your fingers.
Our 100th episode hijinks continue when the creature crashes our party, along with commentator Harlan Ellison. Next.
Sci-Fi Buzz is brought to you by Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge.
Can what makes a car look good also make it safer? You'll find the answer in the new Dodge Stratus. Because along with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and ultra-high-strength steel door beams, even the car's shape helps us add side impact protection. It's nice to know that all that is in here, because all this is out there. New Dodge Stratus. It's full of answers.
Freshness to stay, not fade away. Don't spray it, mist it, Glade Lasting Mist it.
Glade Lasting Mist Air Freshener has a concentrated mist that goes up, stays up, freshens for hours. Ordinary sprays just go up and fade in minutes.
Want freshness to last, not fade away fast. Don't spray it, mist it, Glade Lasting Mist it.
For hours of freshness.
Don't spray it, mist it, Glade Lasting Mist it.
In refills too, fresh from Glade SC Johnson Wax.
You are watching Sci-Fi Buzz on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Prepare to encounter what few have seen before.
I don't know why nobody else saw them. Maybe they weren't looking.
The Sci-Fi Channel presents the rare 4th season of The Twilight Zone in its original order. 18 classic hour-long episodes seldom shown on television.
Call it a challenge.
Wednesday through May 14th at 7 and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Duckman billed as one of the Wall Street Journal's top 10 shows to watch.
This guy's taking over. He's everywhere.
That's our Duckman. Monday night on USA.
Hey, there's the guy that burnt my steak. Welcome back to Jekyll and Hyde, a wacky restaurant in Midtown Manhattan. And here's the writer-director of this place, and his name is Darren DePaul. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
A writer and director for a restaurant?
Exactly.
Because this is theater, isn't it?
It is, actually. It's a totally different entertainment experience.
Brought to you by Erie Entertainment.
Yes, D.R. Finley is the founder, and he has created a wonderful world to come and eat in.
Yeah. What's the idea here?
Well, the idea is that this is a social club for all sorts of strange, bizarre types. If you enter, the curtain has gone up the minute you go in the building.
Yeah.
And you'll be surrounded by the unusual and the bizarre.
And the food's pretty good?
The food is great.
Yeah. What else do you do here?
Well, I write, I direct, I do funny voices as master puppeteer. You may recognize...
Hi, how you doing? I was behind the bar.
Taryn, goodness gracious. Well, you know your restaurant here. It's very nice and all that. But it's not the only new thing in New York City. Oh, no. Believe it or not, the Sci-Fi Channel is also new here. Oh, stop. Thank you. You're going to hurt yourself there. Come on. For your new viewers in the audience there, I want you to get your first taste of our commentator on the program, Harlan Ellison. Maybe the best way to do that is to listen to his very first commentary on this show almost 2 years ago.
My name is Harlan Ellison. That's Harlan. I'm a writer. Call me a science fiction writer, and I'll come to your house and I'll nail your pet's head to a coffee table. I'll hit you so hard your ancestors will die. I'll hit you so hard your grandmother will bleed. I'm a writer. There's no adjective in front of it. I'm just a writer. Now, here I am sitting on the Sci-Fi channel. I really love that title, Sci-Fi. It sounds like the sound of crickets. I've been asked to do the commentary. I've been asked to uplift in this corner. And usually when you get a commentator, you don't know where they come from, what they stand for. But if you recall the beginning of Citizen Kane, Orson Welles as Charles Foster Kane, standing there writing against the window as the gaslight dies and the sun comes up, writing the Declaration of Principles of his new newspaper, what it will stand for, what it will tell you, what kind of bravery it will have. Well, I'm going to give you that so that you'll know who I am and what I stand for. I'm sort of the opposite of somebody like, say, Rush Limbaugh, who, in my perception, has a brain that has turned a puree of bat guano, or the various other talk show hosts who don't really tell you what they stand for. My opinions are mine own. They don't reflect the show. They don't reflect the network. Let me tell you that I will not lie to you. At least I will try not to lie to you. Now, if I do and I don't know that I did it and you correct me, I'm going to let you know that you told me I lied and I'll stand corrected. If I do it on purpose to lie to you and you catch me at it, I will try to convince you that I did it for your own good or possibly for national security. That one seems to have worked for a great many people. Now, if that doesn't work, I'll probably whimper and throw myself on your mercy. I'm nobody's hero. I'm as often wrong as I am right. But I work hard at what I do, and I really believe there are some people who are better than others. Yes, folks, I'm an elitist. Yes, I know you could. On television, they will not hurt you if you say, you know, God picks his nose and eats it, or if you want to overthrow violently the United States government, or you say McDonald's makes toad burgers. But heaven forbid you should say that there are some people who are better than others. But in fact, it's true. Jackie Robinson, better. Eve Curie, better. Albert Einstein, you can't convince me that Albert Einstein wasn't faster, better, quicker, smarter, and one hell of a switch hitter at either side of the plate than anybody around him at the time. I believe that we are destined for something great. I believe that when we are at our best, when we try to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling, when we walk on the moon, then we are our most godlike. To quote from Teilhard de Chardin, the great philosopher, theologian, humanist, and good Christian, the task assigned to us is to climb toward the light. That's what I will try to do in these commentaries. I will try to turn you on to things you need to be turned on to. I will chivvy and harass you, and I dearly hope I will insult you. Now, they only got me for 26 weeks, so I'll probably be gone as soon as I insult the wrong people. While you got me for 26 weeks, enjoy. And if I insult you, it's probably because you deserved it. That name was Harlan Ellison.
On this week's Cutting Edge. Okay, couch potatoes, we've got bad news. You can't just sit back and watch TV anymore. Now you've got to participate in it. That's right. If California's phone company, Pacific Bell, gets its way, you'll have 500 channels. Not only to watch your favorite movies, but to shop at home, play games, and learn. All through the use of a simple remote. Heard it before? Well, it's not just talk anymore. Linda Bonnickson, Pacific Bell.
Happening right now. We started breaking ground, or we like to call it breaking sky because most of it's aerial, but we started building the new network in 4 beachhead cities in May, and we'll continue to build the network. We have an ambitious goal to have all of our customers online by the year 2010.
How do they plan on bringing all these services to you? By replacing existing copper wire with coaxial wire and a fiber network. Sound confusing? It isn't.
We will be delivering these new types of services over the telephone network, and it will come out of your television. And the television has become the easiest to use household appliance that we have. Everybody knows how to turn it on and turn it off, whether you're the oldest person in the family or the youngest person in the family.
So there's no reason to be intimidated. Besides, we've looked into the future, and we've seen some great programming.
On the edge of today's fantasies.
Look within your dreams.
And tomorrow's realities.
The world's first wearable pen PC.
Mike Jarrett.
Let me show you around.
And commentary by Harlan Ellison. Sci-Fi Buzz.
Now, what's your name?
Lucretia Crabtree, dear.
You look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
And you?
I'm Dr. Neville Decay, scientist, philosopher, genius.
And you?
Malcolm Redworthy, sir, butler.
Gladly.
You know, you all have some great creatures around here. Of course, you wouldn't be called creatures.
No, not unless someone were a pinhead. No, we're not creatures.
That's right,
Of
dear.
course we're not creatures. We're people just like you.
No, you couldn't really refer to him as a pinhead, sir. He has a fine quaff.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, fine.
That's right.
Do I remind you of anyone?
Yes.
Pat Sajak.
sir.
Deanie Terrio.
I loved him on Dance Field.
Oh, wasn't he marvelous on that?
What a hoofer.
Fabulous work.
Listen, you know who I missed over around here? There's no Gill Man. You know the creature from the Lagoon?
Don't talk about him.
Yeah, where's he?
Oh, there he is. And when the sad-eyed Gill Man finally emerged from the murky darkness of the Black Lagoon over 40 years ago, he was an immediate hit with the movie audiences. The amphibious monster was one of only a few movie creatures in the 50s to inspire sequels.
There are many strange legends in the Amazon. Even I, Lucas, have heard the legend of a man-fish.
Over here! Quickly!
By the mid-50s, audiences had tired of the old monster standbys, such as Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman. I mean, once you meet up with Abbott and Costello, there's really nowhere else to go. Like King Kong and Godzilla, the creature was endowed with a touch of humanity. The Beastie, as director Jack Arnold affectionately called him, lashes out only when provoked by the scientists who have invaded his peaceful Amazonian pond. It seems as though there's a gentle soul within him, one that is attracted to human standards of beauty. But you can't lust after a Homo sapiens woman and get away with it, especially when two of those men are already fighting over her. There's quite a bit of sexual tension in this film, mainly between the lovely research assistant, Kay, and the creature. This scene is as erotically charged as they came in the 50s. After all, the swimmers are both horizontal, and the creature is clearly moved by Kay's water ballet.
We're trapped and fighting for our lives, and you're worried about whether people will believe us.
The sharpest conflict in this film is between a trophy-hunting scientist who wants to capture the creature, dead or alive, and his colleague who wants to leave the creature in its own environment. Scientific advancement seems to have opened a can of worms for these men. Knowledge has increased their power, but they're at odds as to how that power should be wielded.
You know, I pity him sometimes. He's so alone. The only one of his kind in the world.
That theme also runs through the sequels to this film. Revenge of the Creature finds the beleaguered beastie trapped in a Florida seaquarium. He eventually escapes, and true to the formula laid out in the original, the creature develops a serious crush on another tasty blonde researcher.
There were 4 rats in there when I changed my lights. Now there's only 3.
But the most notable aspect of this movie is the film debut of Clint Eastwood, who plays a lowly lab technician.
The creature can be changed. We can make the giant step and bring a new species into existence.
1956 brought The Creature Walks Among Us, another sequel that failed to live up to the original. After finding refuge in the Florida Everglades, the Gill Man is captured again for experiments in genetic engineering. With its preposterous plot and the absence of director Jack Arnold, this film drove the last nail in the coffin for the Creature franchise. Despite the shortcomings of its sequels, The Creature from the Black Lagoon still stands up. Why are audiences so drawn to the creature? Well, aside from the babes, the lovesick Gill Man is the most likable character in these movies. Way to go, Beastie! When we recharge, you'll meet Wheel of Time author Robert Jordan.
With Dodge Neon's dual airbags and side impact beams, the question isn't safety. With the new Neon Coupe's multi-valve overhead cam engine and fully independent suspension, the question isn't performance. 2 doors or not 2 doors, that is the question. Say hello to the other Dodge Neon, the Coupe. Get up to $1,200 off Dodge Neon during the Dodge National Best Buy sale.
16 years ago, the Viking spacecraft took this amazing picture of the planet Mars. Do you see a face? NASA says you're seeing a trick of light and shadow. Science writer and former NASA consultant Richard C. Hoagland says NASA is hiding the truth. Now, for the first time, see and hear secrets about the existence of extraterrestrial life that have been guarded behind the closed doors of NASA. In the important video, The Monuments of Mars, A Terrestrial Connection. See the amazing similarity between this face on Mars and the ancient Sphinx in Egypt. Learn what connects this part of the Martian landscape called Cydonia and this countryside near England's mysterious Stonehenge. Hear and see other scientific evidence that we have been visited by beings from other worlds. Order The Monuments of Mars, A Terrestrial Connection, a 90-minute video for $19.95. Act now to receive your personal copy.
This is Mickey from West New York, New Jersey, and I'd like to recommend a series of compact discs by Omni Magazine. They compile great futuristic musicians like Mars Lazar, Tangerine Dream, and David Arkenstone, and they put them on 4 discs titled Metropolis, Planet Earth, Deep Space, and there's one called Starscape, which, by the way, was inspired by the old Starman TV series.
Look, this is what I do. This is what I am. I write. I make stories.
Fantasy author Robert Jordan is one of the most popular storytellers today. His multi-volume books, The Wheel of Time, have created a phenomenon with over 2 million copies in print. Not only is Jordan one of the most read and talked about authors today, but he is also one of the hotter topics on the Internet Computer Network. What do fans tell you they like so much about your writing?
It's a different thing for every person.
Really?
Yes.
What do the women like?
The women like the women. I was told by a number of women who came to signing several years ago that they were surprised to find out that I was a man. They thought no man could write women like that. Now, I like this because my editor used to say that I couldn't write women at all. I find this a very sweet revenge.
Jordan, a veteran of the Vietnam War, has definitely connected with his audience, both male and female. And he has some definite thoughts as to why fantasy literature is so popular.
2 things, really, I think. One, you can talk about good and evil, right and wrong, and nobody tells you that you're being judgmental. And the other thing is, in fantasy, there's always the belief that you can overcome whatever obstacles there are, that you can make tomorrow better. And not only that you can, but you will if you work at it.
Do you remember when you conceived the Wheel of Time series?
The first thought that came to me was, what would it be like, what would it really be like to be tapped on the shoulder and told you were born to be the savior of mankind? And I then very quickly thought, what would happen if the savior of mankind really showed up and he was really there to save the world from impending doom? What would the real response of the world be? And after 10 or 12 years of knocking around in my head, because I always give my books a long lead time, that turned into the Wheel of Time.
Jordan's books have been called a combination of Robin Hood and Stephen King. He manages to create characters that seem real, perhaps because he uses many of his own personal experiences in the telling of these epic stories. Do you ever use your experiences in Vietnam in your stories?
Yes, indirectly. I know what it's like to have somebody trying to kill you. I know what it's like to try to kill somebody. And I know what it's like to actually kill somebody. These things, I think, help with writing about people being in danger, or especially if it's in danger of violence, which happens occasionally in my books.
Meanwhile, Jordan continues to work on the next volume of the Wheel of Time series, with no idea when he'll finally wrap the whole thing up.
I know where I'm going.
You do?
I know where I'm going. I know the last scene of the last book. I could write it now. I could have written it before I started this series. I know how all of the major storylines are going to resolve. I just have to get there. And I'm not sure how many books it's going to take. There are going to be several more books. There are going to be some more books. There will be a few more books, but not too many.
No telling how many volumes of The Wheel of Time we'll eventually get. But with Robert Jordan as the author, you can bet we're in for some very interesting reading. Don't be a party pooper, because we've got more 100th episode hoopla from New York's Jekyll and Hyde Club after this.
Sci-Fi Buzz is brought to you by Oil of Olay, a lifetime of beautiful skin.
This is the skin I've always wanted. Forget bath bars. Don't even bother with body lotion. Now all I use is this.
It's this new 2-in-1 moisturizing body wash from Oil of Olay.
You get a lotiony cleanser with a soft Olay puff, a little dab on the puff, and suddenly there's this wonderful moisturizing lather.
Much better than beauty bars. And the special Olay moisturizers are actually absorbed by my skin.
New Oil of Olay 2-in-1 moisturizing body wash. Moisturized skin no bath bar can touch.
Body lotion?
I don't even think about it.
Dodge changed the rules of truck power. The rules of safety, comfort, convenience. And while we were changing those rules, another one changed all by itself. New rule. Dodge pickups now have higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. Want proof? Check the rule book. The rules have changed. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
You are watching Sci-Fi Buzz on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Are you out there, AT&T? Of course you are. You're not going to like this. You know how all along you've been telling us at MCI to put it in writing? Sort of implying that we weren't telling the truth about our savings. Well, approve of the savings statement. We're sending them to our new friends and family customers, showing them how they save. Put it in writing. I hate to say it, AT&T, but you asked for it.
For years, AT&T's television commercials convinced my mom, my sister, and me not to join MCI savings programs.
Then we heard about MCI's new friends and family, and we decided to try it. So we joined together.
Now, when we spend just $10 a month, we save 50% on all the calls we make to each other.
That's half of what we used to pay on AT&T's basic rate for the same call.
And now we realize that all the time AT&T was telling us not to join MCI, they were charging us America's highest long-distance rate.
I'm Marnie. And I'm Nikki.
I'm Elaine. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Chuck Woolery. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Buzz. Hey, these are New Yorkers here who are now going to get the Sci-Fi Channel. Are you excited? Isn't that fun? Yeah? Now, why do you like Sci-Fi Channel?
I like Star Trek movies.
Oh, yeah, stuff like that?
I love
How about Dark Shadows? Anybody like that?
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah? Just a few years ago, right? Yeah?
Just a couple.
Yeah? How about you kids? What do you like to see on the Sci-Fi Channel?
We like scary movies!
Especially you, Marnie, right? Marnie, of course. Well, thank you all for watching over the last 100 episodes of the show. And all you new folks in New York, and now Seattle, Washington as well, we promise you the best in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. For instance, next week, it's the return of the Scream Queens. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
The mysteries of aliens, the magic of Houdini, the miracles of angels. Now the real stories, people, and events are explained in a thrilling new series, Mysteries, Magic, and Miracles, hosted by Patrick McNee. Coming up next.
Coming up on the Sci-Fi Channel.